Hey, this is Buck Dharma of Blue Oyster Cult, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu steaks and chops. Wait till you taste their best-in-class New York steaks, the filet mignon, and of course, the king of all those gigantic cowboy cut and tomahawk cut ribeyes. Best I've ever had. Probably be the best you ever have as well. Check them out at UppercutChops.com. That's UppercutChops.com. Or give them a call. Find out what's for dinner. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Again, 714-948-0100 for UppercutChops.com. And welcome in everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates and independents from coast to coast. Big welcome in to everybody watching on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectrum, and WOW Cable Television affiliates, Charter as well. And also everybody on Hotel TV in about 550,000 rooms or so from coast to coast in all Nielsen-rated markets when picked up. And I got to tell you, folks, that's a very, very large audience, including our friends streaming also on Chicago Food Favorites. Check that out on Facebook, Chicago Food Favorites. All right, of course, everybody knows that Super Bowl 59 is right here on our doorstep. And, of course, Super Bowl 2025 says, well, hey, the NFL is adjusting to Tom Brady's broadcast restrictions with the Chiefs and Eagles for Fox. So, of course, due to Brady's ownership stake with the Raiders, the NFL prohibited him from attending practices and production meetings. Yeah, right. That's ridiculous. With Fox broadcasting Super Bowl 59, color analyst Tom Brady will be allowed a bit more access to the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles than he had been throughout the season when Brady took on a minority ownership in the Raiders, about 10% of the team, as I believe. The NFL put restrictions on the rookie broadcaster's role to ease concerns among league owners that his circumstances created a conflict of interest. Now, the rules included Brady being barred from other teams' facilities, prohibited from other teams' practices, and not allowed to participate in production meetings with coaches, players, and executives of any team whose game he's calling. Well, that's kind of interesting. Those rules will be, of course, somewhat relaxed leading up to the Super Bowl, and that is according to The Athletic. But Brady still will not be allowed into the Chiefs or Eagles practices, though other members of the Fox broadcast crew will, including play-by-play announcer Kevin Burkhardt and reporters Aaron Andrews and Tom Rinaldi. They will all have access. Brady can, however, meet with players and coaches from both teams as part of the production meetings. One of the NFL owners who was most outspoken about Brady's access being restricted was Clark Hunt of the Chiefs. And of course, that's understandable given that the Chiefs are an AFC West rival of the Raiders. Interestingly, Hunt told reporters of the looser restrictions for Brady during his media availability just the other day. He said, quote, "When Brady was approved as an owner of the Raiders, there were a lot of discussions internally among owners that ended up being the recommendation of the league office that it didn't make sense to have him in the production meetings." That's where the rule came from. Since he's doing the game of the week, or since he's doing this game, we have no issues with him being in our production meetings. He'll have the access that any broadcaster would have. Close quote. So the Eagles will also play the Raiders next season, though the exact date of their matchup is unknown, with the 2025 schedule yet to be announced. However, the rules in place for Brady appear to be the same for both teams playing in the Super Bowl. And folks, listen, they're going to have a different playbook. They're going to have a different, not really a different playbook, but they're going to have different plays. There's going to have a whole bunch of different things going on in the Super Bowl that wouldn't necessarily happen in the regular games. And so you can really look at almost anything goes in these Super Bowls, and especially when one team is really far behind trying to catch up, anything could happen. But of course, Tom Brady's access will be reevaluated by the NFL ahead of next schedule. That would be the next season, their schedule, according to the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell. And of course, not everybody's favorite human, as I think a lot of people would probably agree. Now, of course, he revealed that Brady checked with the league frequently this season just to see if he violated any of the rules. I think that's a pretty good thing. And of course, according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal, and Roger Goodell said, quote, Tom has been incredibly cooperative and he calls frequently and says, am I doing okay? I think he's serious about making sure he separates these two and doesn't put the league or anyone else in a position of conflict. It's pretty good stuff, right? Yeah, well, then again, it's a Roger Goodell thing. And Goodell, I think he's just paid $40 million a year to stay out of the way of all the big contracts from guys like Jerry Jones and Hunt and all these other guys, all these really wealthy owners and stuff like that. So who the hell knows what's going to go on? But for Tom Brady, we're going to give him a nice, sizable round of applause. All right, moving on. Think about this, folks. We have these odds and prop bets and all this other stuff. So the line opened up for the Super Bowl at the Chiefs minus 1.5. Now, depending on where you're betting it, it looks like the casinos, the MGM properties have the Chiefs the same line at minus 1.5. Caesars Palace has Kansas City minus 1. Bally's also at minus 1, but largely because Caesars Palace and Bally's are owned by the same company, that's Caesars Entertainment. And so when we look at the online betting, most of those, with the exception of, actually they're about split. They're about 1 to 1.5. So the line hasn't moved too much, and I think it won't move until right before kickoff. Now the totals, the over and under, opened at 50.5 as reported. I thought it actually opened at 49.5, but the official open was 50.5, and it's down to 48.5 at most betting outlets. Only one casino, actually both casinos, Caesars Palace and MGM, both have it at 49. Everybody else has it at 48.5. And that is a little bit different than the money line. The money line, we like to see a 10-cent line, basically 100 to 110. So if you're going to bet it, it's either even money or you're laying 110 to win 100. The problem is now, with most of the betting outlets, you're seeing a 20 to 22 cent line difference, except for Caesars Palace, which is a 10-cent line. It's minus 115 for the Chiefs, minus 105 for the Eagles. So all the other houses, let's just stick with the casinos. MGM has the Kansas City Chiefs at minus 120 and even money if you bet the Eagles. So that's a 20-cent line. And Bally's has a 22-cent line with the Chiefs at minus 122 and the Eagles at even as well. So when we look at those, we say, all right, well, those are some, I guess, just regular betting lines that we're kind of used to. But a lot of people seem to like those Super Bowl prop bets. Now, those are kind of fun because they pay off instantly, in most cases, before the game even ends, or right after the event happens, as a matter of fact. And realize this, Super Bowl prop bets are the most entertaining wagers that you can make on the game itself. And, of course, pick your favorite outlet. They all got their own prop bets and their own odds, but we chose a particular organization because they seem to be a little bit more on the level. And if you're betting on the Super Bowl, you're betting on Super Bowl props. It just seems that way. And not only are they the most fun, and of course, they're easily the most plentiful with dozens of enticing and competitively priced markets available. So this year, bettors have more Super Bowl than ever to choose from a sports book to try to outdo one another or to attract new customers. So the lines are going to be pretty tight, and they're going to be pretty better friendly as well. So this particular organization assembled some of their favorite Chiefs versus Eagle prop bets below, as we're going to go ahead and get into, from the top Super Bowl betting sites around. So they've taken an aggregate, which is pretty cool. So now the NFL player prop bets are available for all NFL games, but these markets are massive for high-profile events like the Super Bowl, allowing multiple ways to wager on the performance of just about every player on the field, including who will score a touchdown. As some sportsbooks, Super Bowl player props are more popular for bettors than in traditional betting markets. And so I have to tell you, folks, these Super Bowl prop bets, they cover so many different aspects. You couldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. From the color of this to who's going to score that or whatnot. In fact, when we get into it in the next segment, you'll hear some of the variants in the Super Bowl prop bets, but they are fun. And I have to say that a lot of people, rather than betting the game, they'd rather just bet on maybe the coin flip, because you actually get better odds from something like that. When I'm talking about, I just mentioned the 20-cent line, 22-cent line between casinos and whatnot. Caesars had a 10-cent line. Actually, in some of these prop bets, you get better odds. You only get like a 2-cent line. So meaning you're getting true to an even money bet, regardless of which way you go about it. When we come back from break, we're going to talk a little bit more about these prop bets, and back here in just a few minutes on the Sports Circus. Don't go anywhere.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at
714-948-0100. Again, 714-948-0100.
Or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Could you use a little extra money right now? If you'd like to borrow up to $100,000 and get pre-approved in minutes, call the number we'll give you at the end of this commercial. Our lending partners have already loaned millions of dollars to individuals just like you, and we're ready to lend you up to $100,000 if you qualify. Even if your credit is not perfect, you could use the money to pay off high-interest credit cards, for home renovations, or consolidate existing debt. You can get flexible, easy-to-pay terms. The consultation to find out if you qualify is free. To find out if you qualify for our special financing program, call this toll-free number 24 hours a day. 800-335-1376. 800-335-1376. 800-335-1376. That's 800-335-1376. Important terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Loan amount, annual percentage rate, and term will vary depending on creditworthiness. Applying does not guarantee approval. Account approval is subject to verification and confirmation of your credit history and acceptance by a lender. If you choose to apply for a loan through us, a consumer report will be obtained to evaluate your creditworthiness in connection with your application for credit.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UppercutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UppercutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UppercutChops.com delivers all natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UppercutChops.com or call
714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Again, 714-948-0100.
or make your selection directly at UppercutChops.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Remaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP studio, AAMP Television. This segment brought to you in part by our friends over at the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. Check them out at csncoyotes.com for upcoming games and events. That's csncoyotes.com for the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. That's a longtime partner of the Sports Circus. They've been with us for, since 2016. That's a round of applause for them. And hopefully they'll be with us for another 8-10 years or however long we're here on the air. All right, welcome in everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates, including our friends over in Honolulu on CBS Sports 1500 KHKA. That's home of the 49ers, Yankees, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Welcome in everybody else up and down the West Coast, throughout the heartland, all the way down to Auburn, Alabama, WAUD, home of the Atlanta Braves. Speaking of Atlanta, our friends over on WDJY 99.1 FM, thanks for joining us there. Plus everybody else on our cable providers, our television providers, and hotels, as well as everybody streaming on Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook. Folks, make sure you check out Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook, a fun club to participate with. And guess what? It's not a club, it's a group. And you can post your favorite recipes and read about your favorite restaurants or leave your favorite reviews or whatnot, or just have some fun and talk smack about food. How do you like that? All right. Now, in the last segment, I was talking a little bit about those prop bets. Lots and lots of these proposition bets. These are these one-time bets that, you could bet on during the game, something very quick, something that happens, almost a quick event. Could be from this event before the game even happens or whatnot. And let's run over some of these in case you don't know what they are. You can pick these up at pick your favorite online betting outlet or your local betting outlet if you're right here in fabulous Las Vegas. And of course, the current line at the Stations hotels, now which we didn't get into them because they weren't on the list, they have this game at 1.5 with the Chiefs, exactly where it opened, and 49 where I thought it opened at 49.5. So actually you're getting the true line at the Stations hotels. And if you don't know what that is, folks, if you're living in different parts of this country or other parts of the globe, doesn't matter which corner you have for all you flat earthers out there. But what I will say is that the Stations hotels right here in Las Vegas has the Red Rock Hotel, Casino and Spa. They have the Palace Station. They have the Boulder Station. They have all the Sam's Town, Sam Club, Santa Fe Station. Whole bunch of hotel casinos throughout the city, and that is a very, very good group to make your bets with because you get a real fair shake with these guys, generally speaking. So they've got the Chiefs at 1.5, and they've got the Eagles at 49, or better yet, the over and under at 49. And they even have the halftime betting already out there. They have the Chiefs at -0.5 a point. So basically it's it's better than having a push, I suppose, because someone's going to win or lose. In this case, it's -0.5 a point. And the Eagles, of course, they're, let's face it, they're even money at this point. So it's -120, which is that 20-cent line, which we don't like. But the actual betting line is good. And the over and under is 24 between the two teams. So basically they're saying it could end up being a 14-10 at the half or something to the effect. And of course, when we're looking at the game special point spreads, and you could bet all kinds of different ways in this one. The Chiefs -3.5, the Eagles +3.5. You could even go 4.5 on either side, 7.5 on either side, 10.5 on either side. It's crazy what you could do with this. 14.5 on either side. Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, and that's just if the Chiefs are I guess, in the driver's seat in this one. But look at it this way, folks. There's a lot of those kind of bets, but you have the championship props as well. Total points scored by the Chiefs, 25.5. You could bet on that one. That's a 10-cent line, minus 120 to minus 110. You can also bet the total points scored by the Eagles at 24.5, being the over and under. Another 10-cent line, minus 120 to minus 110. You can also bet team to win opening coin toss. I like that one. That's only a 3-cent line. It's minus 103 either way. And think about this. If you're looking for that even money bet somewhere in the casino, and let's just say you're looking for that even number or even money bet, we say, well, maybe we could bet on red or black on the roulette table, and that's 50%. No, it's not. It's actually less than that because you've got the 2 green spots on the roulette reel. So this, believe it or not, folks, the coin toss has the best odds as far as not laying 110 to win 100 or 105 to win 100. You're only laying 103. It's a 3-cent line. That in itself deserves a round of applause. So, of course, you can bet heads or tails, and, of course, either one is minus 103. Now, you can also bet if there's going to be a safety in the game. Now, the odds of this one are a little bit long because safeties don't happen very often, and if you bet yes, there will be, you're getting 7 to 1. You bet $100, you win $700. But if there is no safety, which most of these games don't have them, you're laying 11 for 1. So you have to put up $1,100 to win $100. That doesn't seem very good. Now you can also bet if the game's going to go into overtime. And the over and under on this one, we don't know about, but what we do know is if you're betting yes, it's going to go into overtime, these are the same odds as the safety. It's 7 to 1. You put up 100 to win 700, plus you get your $100 back if they go into overtime. And if they don't, you're putting up 1,100 to win $100. Doesn't seem like a reasonable bet to me, unless you're going to bet maybe $10 on the yes, it will go into overtime, and maybe, I don't know, $5 on the no, it won't go into overtime. So you kind of hedge these a little bit. But ultimately, that is a disaster waiting to happen. It's the only way you can really do anything with that. But frankly, I wouldn't do it myself. You can also bet, will there be a successful 2-point conversion in the game? You get plus 220 if you're betting yes, there will be. So you put up 100 to win 220. And if there's no 2-point conversion, you're laying 3 to 1. Put up 300 to win 100. I don't know about that one. So the total back is 400. Your $300 bet plus the $100. You can bet, will there be at least one defensive or special teams touchdown? And that is, if you're betting yes, it's plus 220. If you're betting no, it's minus 300. Now, of course, this one includes any defensive player recovering a fumble in the end zone for a touchdown as well. Now, margin of victory is another interesting one that you could bet by. And the way the Chiefs have not covered all year long, I don't know about this one, because if you're going to bet the Chiefs to win, I don't know, from 1 to 3 points, you're basically getting a 4 to 1. You're putting it up at 4 to 1. Now, if the Chiefs are going to win by 4 to 6 points, you're getting 8 to 1 on that. If the Chiefs win by 7 to 10, you're getting 7 to 1. Chiefs win by 11 to 13 points, it's 15 to 1. Those are the longest odds. And that's even if the Chiefs win by 22 or more, that's only 8 to 1. Now, if the Eagles win by 1 to 3 points, it's a 4 to 1. If the Eagles win by 4 to 6, you're getting 9 to 1. Eagles win by 7 to 10, you're getting 8 to 1. And if the Eagles win by 11 to 13, you're getting 16 to 1. That's the longest odds. But the reality is, it's going to be the Chiefs in this one. The question is, how much are they going to win by? And according to what they haven't done against the spread all year, for the most part, that they have probably not covered about 80% of the games. I wouldn't suspect that they would be covering in this game. But then again, if Mattress Mac is betting on it, it seems like Mattress Mac knows something that we don't know. Now, you can also bet the player to score the first touchdown of the game. And the odds are as such. Travis Kelce, this is according to Stations Hotel, by the way. Travis Kelce is a 7 to 1 shot. Kareem Hunt, 8 to 1. Xavier Worthy, 10 to 1. Isaiah Pacheco, 12 to 1. Mahomes, 14 to 1. Marquise Brown, 18 to 1. Noah Gray, 20 to 1. DeAndre Hopkins, 25 to 1. You see where we're going with this, folks. All the Kansas City players were doing these first. And Pirine is at 50 to 1. Any other Chiefs player is 14 to 1. Now, Saquon Barkley to score the first touchdown are the shortest odds at 4 to 1 overall. Jalen Hurts at 6 to 1. Of course, then it would be Travis Kelce at 7 to 1. A.J. Brown 10-1 for Philadelphia. Devontae Smith 12-1. Dallas Goedert 18-1. I kind of like that one. Will Shipley 60-1. Dotson 60-1. Any other Eagles at 10-1. And no touchdown scored. Guess what? 100-1. That's pretty damn good. Now, the first scoring play of the game, of course, you can bet on this one as well. The Chiefs score a field goal first, 3-1. Chiefs passing touchdown, 3-1. And the Eagles score a field goal first, 7-2. Well, 7-2 is 3.5-1. So you compare the two. They're saying the Chiefs have a 3-1 versus a 3.5-1 for the first field goal of the game as the first score. Now, for the Eagles to score a passing touchdown, it's 9-2. And, of course, that is a 4.5-1 odd. And if you're looking at the Chiefs touchdown, if they score it first by passing, that is 3-1. If the Chiefs run their touchdown in, it's 9-2 or 4.5-1. If the Eagles rush their touchdown in, it's 3-1. So what they're trying to say is we think, the stations believes, that the Chiefs are going to score first and they're likely going to have a field goal. That's what this is looking at. If it happens to be an Eagles safety and a long shot, 45-1. Same thing with the Chiefs with the safety at 45-1. We're going to come back with more of these prop bets right here on the Sports Circus for the Super Bowl in just a few minutes, folks. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come. I'm your ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus, a primetime, nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it on here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Hello, Americans. It's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. For the last time. That's 800-950-2049.
Do a search on how to get out of credit card debt, and you'll find everything from crazy promises to ways you can try to do it yourself. Many of those ideas just don't work, and they leave you broker than you were. Here's some advice. Call our debt helpline. In a quick and free 5-minute conversation, our experts will listen to you and learn about how much credit card debt you have, what your goals are, and then show you the right solution to help you get out of credit card debt with one new simple, affordable payment. The credit card companies make available special programs to help if you're struggling. All it takes for you to finally get out of credit card debt is one quick, free phone call. So please call right now.
800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. That's 800-948-6817. Paid for by the Debt Helpline.
That's ridiculous.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting. Hey everyone, Dave Jackson here, ESPN rules analyst on ESPN Hockey, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Folks, make sure to check out thesportscircus.com for our upcoming guests, our prior guests, or recorded shows, which can be found on Apple, Amazon, Audible, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Deezer, all over the place, folks. YouTube, you name it, we're there. You can't get away from us. Also, make sure you check out the partners page. Lots of great partners on there. One of those is our favorite, Al's Number One Italian Beef at 1079 West Taylor Street in Chicago's Little Italy. And folks, if you can't get over there to get some of that great food at Al's Number One Italian Beef, check them out at alsbeef.com. You can read all about their creation, which is the Italian beef sandwich. They've been in business since 1938, and it kicks the living daylights out of that so-called sandwich that people call a Philly's cheesesteak sandwich, which is laughable at best. And I have to tell you, folks, you can get this all around the country and around the globe. Al's Number One Italian Beef. Check out that incredible Italian beef sandwich. I have to tell you, folks, it takes 20 hours to make that product itself. And it is not frying like that Philly cheesesteak sandwich. It is real cooking, and it is real good. And guess what? It's not really bad for you either, as I've seen. How about a nice round of applause for Al's Number One Italian Beef? Yes! That's good stuff. All right, welcome back to everybody on TV and radio, streaming. You know who you are. Left off with the Super Bowl prop bets for the Chiefs and Eagles. And you can also bet on the last scoring play of the game. In case you didn't know, the Chiefs to score a field goal 3-1, or the Eagles to score a field goal, both at 3-1. A touchdown pass by the Chiefs at 3-1, and a touchdown pass by the Eagles at 4.5-1. Yet if the Eagles rush it in, it's 3-1. And, of course, if the Chiefs rush it in, it's 4.5-1. So basically what they're saying is we think Saquon Barkley is going to get that last scoring play of the game according to these odds. Now, if that is the case, that would probably be either too little, too late to make it a one-point game. Conveniently, of course, for the betting line. Right?
Show me the money!
Well, it could be a little bit of that. We don't know. But, of course, all other touchdowns, not including rushing or passing touchdowns, are also included in that 20-1 for the Eagles, or 18-1 for the last scoring play of the game. Now, you can also, unless this you can also thing is a very common theme here, player to score the last touchdown of the game. Now, if you were to bet Saquon Barkley, he leads the way at 4-1, Jalen Hurts at 6-1, Travis Kelce 7-1, Kareem Hunt 8-1. Then it goes to A.J. Brown and Xavier Worthy at 10-1, and down we go from there without getting into each one of those. Now, the first touchdown for each team is an interesting one that you could bet on, but the odds aren't very good because Saquon Barkley is 6-5, put up $6 to win $5. That's not that great. And over on the Chiefs side, the best odds they have are Travis Kelce at 3-1, Kareem Hunt 4-1, Xavier Worthy 5-1. Mahomes is 7-1 for him probably to run it in. And that's not so bad of a bet. Pacheco is at 13-2, so that's 6.5-1, folks. In case you're wondering, all you do is take 13 divided by 2, and that's how you come out with 6.5-1. Now, if you were to look at the Eagles with their first touchdown, each team, think about this. You've got Saquon Barkley at 6-5, Jalen Hurts at 2-1. So they're saying, look, one way or another, they're going to run the ball in. And it's probably going to be the Eagles that run. They say, well, fly, Eagles, fly, all that other nonsense. This is a running club, and it's likely they're going to run the ball right down Kansas City's neck. The question is, can they keep up with the scoring of Kansas City? I don't really think so. First reception of each team. This is usually going to be a very predictable one. And now Travis Kelce is 2-1, probably establishing that passing game very, very quickly. Xavier Worthy 5-2, Marquise Brown 4-1, DeAndre Hopkins 5-1. I would imagine it's either going to be a swing pass to a running back. It could be Pacheco. That's actually a pretty good bet. Or it's going to be Kelce. One way or another, it's going to be one of those two. And for the bettors out there, hopefully it's Pacheco because that's 10-1. Now, when you look at the Eagles side of it, well, my best guess, if their first passing play, I don't think it's going to be a swing pass to Barkley. They're going to run him. It's probably going to be the tight end, Dallas Goedert, at 11-5, which is just over 2-1. A.J. Brown has the same odds. Devontae Smith is at 3-1. Even Barkley for a swing pass is 5-1. I don't think it's going to go there. It's got to go to the tight end. I think both teams will probably try to establish with the tight end. That probably makes the most sense. Now, of course, the most valuable player, you could bet on that as well for the game. And Patrick Mahomes is 10-11. 10-11. Put up 10-11. Saquon Barkley at 9-5, which is just under 2-1. Jalen Hurts at 3-1. Kelce 14-1. So it's likely if Kelce would win it, well, Patrick Mahomes is throwing him the ball, so likely Mahomes is going to get it. The only way Kelce would get it is if he made some incredible yards after catch and did some crazy gymnastics out there, just like Xavier Worthy, same idea. But it's likely going to be one of the quarterbacks or Saquon Barkley. That's why the odds are what they are. And as you move down the trough, I mean, you could just basically take all others that are not listed at 10-1, but there's a whole bunch of these guys listed, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to bet something like that. Now, you can also bet on the first quarter scoring. So the total you can bet at 9.5 points between both teams, or you can bet on the second quarter 14.5. So basically, you're going into the locker room with a better, I guess what I'm trying to say is probably more scoring, a little momentum going into the locker room. But if you look at that total of 14.5 and 9.5, you're still talking 24 points, which is exactly what they say will be the over and under for halftime betting. Now, third quarter wager only, and the over and under is 10 on that one. So they're saying, well, maybe one team going to come out with a touchdown, one's going to come out with a field goal. And the fourth quarter, 13.5. So at some point, we're going to see probably that 1 point game find itself. Now, the alternate game total is 57.5. The total points scored by both teams combined. And the alternate game total itself, 43.5. Total points scored by both teams, again, combined. So two different ways to look at this. And also you have a 61.5 and a 39.5. Now the team to score first, Stations Hotel are saying the Chiefs at -125, the Eagles at -105. So it's probably going to be that field goal. Team to score last, Chiefs 115 and the Eagles both 115. So you're getting the same thing, but you're still laying 115-1 instead of the typical 110 to win 100. Now, will there be a score in the first 6 minutes of the play? Yes, you can bet it at -105. No, -125. Will there be a score in the final 2 minutes of the first half? Yes, -360. Put up 360 to win 100. And no, +270. Will a team score first? Team to score first will win the game. Yes or no? Yes, -155. No, +125. Team to score last to win the game, that last game-winning drive. Yes, -230. No, +180. Team to make the field goal, first field goal. Both teams are at -115. First turnover of the game, interception or a fumble. You can bet on that one too, folks. -150 interception, +120 for a fumble. First score of the game will be any touchdown, -180. A field goal or safety, +145. That seems like a pretty good bet right there, +145. Team to call the first time out. Both are at -115. You see where this is going, folks. You could bet on damn near anything. Will either team score 3 or more unanswered scores? Yes, -180. No, +145. First team to challenge an official's call. I like this one. Both are -115. Will an interception be returned for a touchdown or a pick six? Yes, that you're getting 5-1 right there. Bet 100 to win 550 or 650 total. No, minus 900. Both teams' first scoring play is a field goal. Yes, you're getting 4-1, and if not, you're laying 600. 600 to win 100. And folks, these things, these prop bets are kind of fun. And look, you can even pick the exact points scored by each team. And so, needless to say, if you're betting, well, picked exact points scored by Kansas City Chiefs, 0 points, it's 100-1 for them to get shut out. Just like Philadelphia, 100-1. 2 points, 2,000-1 on both sides. Only 3 points, 40-1 on both sides. 4 points, 4,000-1. 5 points, 400-1 on both sides. 6 points, 50-1 on both sides. 7 points, 25-1 on both points. 8 points on if either team scores 8 points only, you can bet on that. 200-1. 9 points, 60-1 on both. 10 points, 18-1. 150-1 for 11 points. 100-1 for 12 points. And folks, this doesn't start making any sense until we get right around, that 20-point line. Actually, we get down below 20 points or above 20 points. And then it starts to, well, let's put it this way. Those numbers start to level off just a little bit. So they're saying these point totals are going to be in the 20s. And then we're going to continue on and exhaust the living daylights out of these prop bets in the final segment of the Sports Circus. Why? This is the Super Bowl edition of the Sports Circus. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come.
Can your IRA stand up to the next financial crisis that our top economists are saying is at our doorsteps? By allocating a percentage of your IRA into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns by putting your IRA back on the gold standard. Find out how to safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report. Protect your IRA today with one simple phone call and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. Call Genesis Gold Group, empowering faith-driven stewardship. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. That's 800-932-5517.
If you served in the Marine Corps, by now you know about the contaminated water problem at Camp Lejeune. If you were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you probably have a lot of questions. We have some answers. You could be entitled to compensation. Billions of dollars are being allocated to pay for damages to anyone stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time. Unfortunately, it appears that officials may have known the contaminated water problem existed and did little to protect their men. The Semper Fi code was not honored. If you or someone in your family has developed a serious illness, including various forms of cancer, call this Camp Lejeune legal support line right now. You can't turn back the clock and change what happened, but you can certainly call right now and learn your rights as a Marine. Here's the number.
Call 800-335-7196. 800-335-7196. That's 800-335-7196.
Do a search on how to get out of credit card debt, and you'll find everything from crazy promises to ways you can try to do it yourself. Many of those ideas just don't work, and they leave you broker than you were. Here's some advice. Call our debt helpline. In a quick and free 5-minute conversation, our experts will listen to you and learn about how much credit card debt you have, what your goals are, and then show you the right solution to help you get out of credit card debt with one new simple, affordable payment. The credit card companies make available special programs to help if you're struggling. All it takes for you to finally get out of credit card debt is one quick, free phone call. So please call right now.
800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. That's 800-948-6817. Paid for by the Debt Helpline.
Hey, everybody, this is Brian Urlacher. Welcome back to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Folks, again, make sure you check out thesportscircus.com for upcoming guests, prior guests, recorded shows. And listen, we have some really good guests coming up, and we're going to have the great Don Beebe on the show real soon. And Don has been with us before. Don is a very interesting guy. He's one of those few guys that actually teaches people how to run fast. Also a college football coach as well. The great Wayne Newton's going to be here on the show. And we're going to be releasing the date and the press release on that real soon as well. Plus a couple of other really big names in the entertainment business that we cannot disclose right now. But lots of really fun shows coming up here on the circus. And in case you missed any part of this show, you can go back to our recorded shows on Apple, Amazon, Audible, Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Stitcher, YouTube, etc. You can listen to or watch these shows on those venues as well, or better yet, on those platforms, as well as pick your favorite local radio station that is playing this show on air currently. All right. Back to the Super Bowl edition of the Sports Circus and the proposition bets. These are those one-time bets during the game or before the game or whatnot that you could bet, have a little fun with. And I have to tell you, folks, there are, I think, over 50 of these, if I'm not mistaken. I think the list that we're going down has about 59 of them, and that doesn't even include all of them, as I understand it. Now, getting back to those, you can bet, will Patrick Mahomes throw at least one interception? Yes, plus 110, no, minus 140. Will Jalen Hurts do the same? Yes, one interception, plus 130, no, minus 160. Now, you can bet Patrick Mahomes' first pass attempt will be either complete or incomplete. If it's complete, it's minus 260. Incomplete, plus 200. Same thing for Jalen Hurts. Complete, minus 230. Incomplete, an incomplete pass is plus 180. Patrick Mahomes' total touchdown passes thrown, over and under, is 1.5. Over is minus 170. Under, plus 140. Jalen Hurts, the same thing. Total touchdown passes. Over plus 155. Under minus 190. So they think he's only going to throw one touchdown pass or less. That's interesting. Patrick Mahomes' total passing and rushing yards. Total yards, 285 yards from scrimmage. 285 and a half. That's minus 115 on both sides. And Jalen Hurts' total yards, passing and rushing, 253 and a half. You know, if I was a betting guy, I would probably bet that over on Patrick Mahomes, over 285. Now, I would probably bet the over on Jalen Hurts at 253 and a half. It should be a higher scoring affair despite this slow start. Likely that will happen because of the rushing game. Because, let's face it, Philadelphia is going to want to do what? Establish the run, control the tempo of the game by the run. But unfortunately, at some point, they're going to fall behind. They'll be forced to pass, and this is where Jalen Hurts will pick up those extra yards from that 253. But I think he's going to do a fair amount of rushing, and he will score touchdowns from that push play that they do. Now, Patrick Mahomes' total completions made, over and under, is 24 and a half. You know, that seems like an under for me. That's almost like 23 as I see it. Jalen Hurts, total completions made, 18 and a half. That one will probably be over. It'll probably be 19 to 20, only because they'll have so many rushing attempts by Saquon Barkley. So now also, total completions made, actually that's the completions, total pass attempts. The attempts will be 36 by Mahomes, 36 and a half is the over and under, even to 130. Jalen Hurts, total passing attempts, 27 and a half. That's right about at the number. I think both of these are real close. Also betting on Patrick Mahomes' gross passing yards, just passing yards, 254 and a half. minus 115 on both sides, and Jalen Hurts 213.5. Likely that will be over, and that is a minus 115 on both sides. Patrick Mahomes' yards of longest pass completion, will it be over or under 35.5 yards? And the problem is this: when you've got speedy receivers and you've got big burly tight ends, it's real possible to have that over hit because of the yards after catch. I'm going to say that's going to be over 35.5. Jalen Hurts, same thing, over and under 34.5. His will probably be under because they're going to be more of a ball control type of a team. And if they do throw the ball, those guys' receivers on Philadelphia are not game breakers like they are with speed, and more speed over on Kansas City. So I think that's going to be under 34.5. Mahomes' total rushing yards, 29.5. Probably an under on that one. Hurts, total rushing, 40.5. Probably an under as well, but the attempts will be there. Total, let's see, Patrick Mahomes, which will he throw first? Either a touchdown or an interception. Touchdown is minus 310. Interception plus 230. Jalen Hurts, which will he do? Will he throw a touchdown or an interception first? He's at minus 260. Or interception is plus 200. Moving on. Oh, there's lots more of these, folks. Will Travis Kelce score at least one touchdown? Yes, plus 125. That's a pretty good bet right there. No, 155. Minus 155. Will Saquon Barkley score at least one touchdown? Yes, minus 200. No, plus 160. Minus 200 is almost worth laying the 2-1. Will Kareem Hunt score at least one touchdown? Plus 135. Yes, no, 165. No, minus 165. A.J. Brown, plus 165. Yes, score at least one touchdown. And no is minus 210. Xavier Worthy, same thing. Will he score at least one touchdown? Plus 160. Yes, or no, minus 200. That's a pretty safe bet that he's going to. Will Devontae Smith score at least one touchdown? Yes, 240. Plus 240. No, minus 320. I think that's a big fat no. And the same thing with Isaiah Pacheco. Look, we can go down this whole list. It's a very long list, but I think we'll stop with that. Now, Patrick Mahomes, first quarter touchdown pass. Yes, plus 180. No, minus 230. Now, of course, Patrick Mahomes, you can also bet total yards of first touchdown pass, over and under 9.5. I think it's going to be under 9.5. Probably a goal line touchdown, one of those 5-6 yard plays. That makes the most sense. Second quarter, Mahomes, will he throw a touchdown pass? Yes, plus 110. No, minus 140. Will Jalen Hurts, and yards of his first touchdown pass will be 9.5, just like Mahomes, and that is the same odds, essentially. So will Mahomes have a touchdown pass in the third quarter? Yes, of course, there's a bet for plus 165, and no, minus 210. Patrick Mahomes versus Jalen Hurts, who will have more passing yards? Mahomes minus 260, Jalen Hurts plus 200. Likely it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. And of course, you can also bet fourth quarter touchdown passes. Will there be one by Mahomes? Yes, even money, straight even money. No, minus 130. Now, Mahomes versus Hurts, who have more touchdown passes? It's Mahomes minus 310 to Hurts plus 230. Will Jalen Hurts have a first quarter touchdown pass plus 280? Yes. No, minus 370. I think that's a big fat no. Will Patrick Mahomes first quarter gross passing yards total over 53.5? Yes or no? Minus 120. Yes, over. Under, minus 110. No. Jalen Hurts, second quarter touchdown pass. Yes, plus 175. No, minus 210. Jalen Hurts first quarter gross passing yards, 44.5 is the over and under for the first quarter passing yards. And it's probably going to be under because it's going to be the Saquon Barkley show. So let's get past all of those and let's get into a different part of this. And I mean, look, there's players and players and players, but will the game be decided by exactly 3 points? You could bet yes at plus 4-1. So lay 100, win 500 total, or get your $400 plus your original $100 back for a total of 500. No, minus 600. Will the game be tied after 0-0? So will it be 3-3, 10-10, 17-17? Yes, minus 135. No, 105, plus 105. Will the game be decided exactly 7 points? Yes, plus 650. No, minus 1,100. I'm inclined to bet no on that one. total yardage of all field goals made, 118 yards. That's an interesting one. So you could bet on that. You could bet on the longest field goals. I'm going to kind of rush through these because we're running out of time a little bit. Player to score the last touchdown of the first half and the player to score the first touchdown of the second half. You can bet on those. And, of course, all the field goal variables as well. And, of course, which will happen first, a sack or a touchdown? You can bet on that, too. Largest lead of the game, 13.5 is the over and under on it. Total net yards, total grossing yards. Jersey number of the first player to score a touchdown. How do you like that? Total punts in the game. Jersey number of the player to score first touchdown, odd or even. Total rushing touchdowns in the game. It just goes on and on, folks. Will there be at least one scoreless quarter? Total first downs by both teams combined. And on we go. Then we have the, total tackles. You could bet total tackles by this guy, that guy, or the next. Total sacks, etc., etc. And then we get into the same game props with multiple players. And so you have Mahomes, for example, and Kelsey. So you could bet Mahomes over 300 passing yards plus Kelsey touchdown pass at a Chiefs win. You could bet on that one. It's maddening, folks. Same game props as well. It goes into the other team. And then it's all the rushing ones. And then it goes on. So we're going to flip to something else here real quick because we're running out of time. So outside of the fact that you could bet on all those players individually, because we already know that stuff, but you also, of course, like I said, you have the winning margin you could bet on. And you can also bet on the total field goals and touchdowns. Will there be a scoregami? One of the more fun concepts in scoregami is when a game finishes with a score that has never happened before in the Super Bowl era, and you could bet on odds for this game to finish with a unique score. How do you like that? And, of course, you can also bet on what? Total team points. Also, the color of Gatorade that's going to be poured over a coach. How do you like that? You can bet on the coin toss, as I mentioned earlier. Yes, and you can bet on the national anthem. Is it over or under 120 seconds? Well, guess what? Also, you could bet on will John Baptiste perform with a piano or not? Or you could bet on will a player or coach cry during the national anthem? This is nuts. You can even bet on the halftime show. If that's not enough, which song is going to be played first by Kendrick Lamar? And it just goes on and on and on. And so, folks, listen, this is a lot of fun to bet on these prop bets. You don't have to bet on the game. You could bet on all those things in between. And this is what happens during the Super Bowl. Never mind all the advertisers. You could bet on which company is going to advertise first. Which commercial will you see? Will you see a beer commercial versus a cold drink, a soft drink commercial? Everything. You can imagine it, folks. If you could think it, probably there's a place you could bet on it. That's going to do it for the circus today. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, and I say, by the way, Kansas City wins. They get their three-peat. Oh, and later in the year, I believe that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift will find a way to separate, and that'll be the end of the three-peat run, the Super Bowl history thing, and now another team is going to be taking over the driver's seat. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. See you in 23 hours, folks. So long, everyone.
Can your IRA stand up to the next financial crisis that our top economists are saying is at our doorsteps? By allocating a percentage of your IRA into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns by putting your IRA back on the gold standard. Find out how to safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report. Protect your IRA today with one simple phone call and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. Call Genesis Gold Group, empowering faith-driven stewardship. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. That's 800-932-5517.